And now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. This portion of the show is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Here we go. Another great hour of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. Here's Pete Gray, Rock Cod, Rick Mexa, and Corey Sandin.
And welcome back. Hour number 2. Let's Talk Hookup right here on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan. Pete Gray here, along with Rock Cod, Rick Mexa, in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup, right next to pretty busy San Diego landings. There's boats coming. I saw Raymond from Fisherman's Process this morning, getting the fish off the boats that are coming in. They're biting, and lots of good stuff. We have a great show. Talking lobster. I can't believe it's lobster season already. Brian Sanchez and Captain Pablo Hernandez. And also, if you're watching us on YouTube and Facebook, Renee's here. He's a regular, man.
Silent.
Hangs out with Phil Friedman and stuff. And it's like he's part of the family, right?
That's right.
But anyway, having a good time here, talking fishing and talking lobsters, and giving away great prizes.
Man, you're not kidding. If you didn't hear it at the beginning of the show, $200 gift certificates for the Promar and Ahi website. And man, unless something changes, there might be 2 for the texters. We've had phones have been down this morning. A little issue on the fan, but those guys are kicking butt. And hopefully,
it's not the fan again. It's
sure.
AT&T or whoever.
I'm just proud that it's not something that I screwed up. Right? It's not on my side. I'm on the co-host seat today. I'm not pushing the buttons. It wasn't any of my electronics. So I'm just stoked that it wasn't something that Rick did. That's all.
Well, lot of things going on, a lot of good stuff to talk about. I wanted to follow up, Brian, again. You're a big surf fisherman, and a lot of our listeners love to surf fish, and that's why we have Gundy's Surf Reporters, because they love to. So give us again some of the Promar Ahi stuff that you used in the surf.
Yeah, so the number one thing that we recommend is going to be the flash jigs, which are going to be the just like a stick jig. You're going to throw it out there and retrieve it back, and it has that swimming motion.
Yeah, but it's like kind of like a jerk bait.
No, it's imagine like very similar to like Colt snipers and stuff like that.
Type of thing. Okay.
You throw it out in the surf. We have them all the way down to ½ ounce.
Wow.
So you could really, really toss them out there and swim them in there. You can get surf perch on it. You can get corvina on them.
You can probably use them freshwater, catch trout and bass.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah. A lot of our hard metal jigs, most guys have been starting to mess around with them in the freshwater scene, and that's pretty cool. Like I had one guy out in Temecula, and he goes out to like Pyramid and stuff like that, and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to use these. I'm going to go fish trout with them and drop the Icara jigs of 15 grams down and pick up trout." But for surf fishing, the line, our GT4 line, that's super popular. It goes down to 15 pound. So I use that a lot for halibut myself, or if I'm going for leopard sharks and I use something a little bit heavier, like 25, 30 pound, I'm using also GT4 on there.
Okay.
It is something that we've considered in terms of going down in size for line sizes for surf fishing, but we haven't done it yet. So
gotcha.
And then we have our Ensenada tackle bag. So it's a little waist bag. So if you guys just want to have something on your back or put it across your chest, like it's super easy for you guys to use as well.
Oh, cool. That's cool. Good idea. You have a great text, huh?
I thought so. This is Switching Gears, still staying on lobster, but switching gears. Some says, "Good morning, guys. Please give me the best way to handle my lobsters once they've been on the boat. How do you prepare them? How do you prepare them for storage? How do you freeze them? And then when it comes time to eat them, whether it be fresh or frozen, can you give me your best recipes? I'm a crustacean rookie." That's from Rich in Long Beach.
I'll give my answer, and then I'll let Pablo give his answer. But what I like to do, obviously you want to have your Promar gloves. Like I said, we make everything from A to Z. We have our Pro Grip gloves, which are going to be the thicker ones. And if you guys are really scared of the spines, those are really cool because you won't really feel anything at all. And then we have our PVC grip gloves, which are going to be textured so you don't have them slipping around. You kind of want to fold the tail in, and that'll kind of get them to stop moving a lot. And then when it comes to preparing them, what I like to do is if you put them in the fridge overnight, they'll stay alive, and then they kind of slow down and it makes them easier to kill. You're just going to – what I do is I tail them. So I'll twist the tail off on one end, and I twist it on the other end and pull them off. I use one of the antennas, go through the chute and pull out the excrement or whatever. And then I vacuum seal mine individually. And to prevent them from getting through that puncturing of that seal bag, I'll just fold some paper towels under there, slide it in, and then put the tail on top, and then vacuum seal them. That was actually Renee gave me that idea, and
that's a good idea.
Yeah,
I've been cutting the spines off to vacuum seal, but that sounds a lot easier.
It's a lot easier,
and it
less
probably
of a mess.
absorbs some of the.
Yeah, it absorbs a lot of that like extra moisture in there as well. So
good idea, Renee.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Much easier.
A lot easier for sure. Yeah.
Definitely.
And you got to keep them pretty too.
Yeah, I was going to say, and it looks good.
It looks good.
It looks a lot better.
One of the boys that works in the tackle store, he kicks ass on those things, and and he'll throw some bug like they just roll their tail into a ball and then throw it in the vacuum pack, and so all the spines then get protected in the ball, but it just doesn't look as cool.
No.
Like when you open your freezer and that thing's all fanned out, all killer, and I mean it's better looking, but the ball. The ball protects the bag, but it's just not the same.
It's not.
They look good when you got your thing all ready to rock.
Hey, Colin has a great text here. He says, "Good morning, fellas. Great to hear Brian as a guest today. Not really a question, just a big shout out to Brian for everything he's done for our industry, from sharing expert advice with newcomers and seasoned fishermen alike to hosting clinics packed with tips and techniques, always answering questions with thought and enthusiasm. Your passion to help others succeed truly stands out. We, all of us fishermen, appreciate everything you do."
Oh,
there you
you,
go.
man. I really
and you
appreciate
do a lot.
that,
You're involved in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I try to be.
You're kind of everywhere.
Yeah, I definitely try. Thanks to Pablo, he introduced me to a lot of people, and he taught me a lot of the things that I get to share. So really, thank Pablo. So
don't thank me, man.
Well, I want to go back to Rich's question too. What about the second part? What's your guys' favorite way to once you have all your bugs? What's your favorite way to cook them up?
I smoke mine. I put mine in the smoker. I throw them I throw them in the Traeger at about I try to keep it as low as possible, about 180, and I do it for about an hour. I get my thermometer, I check, I make sure they're up to 10.
What a trip! No kidding.
Yeah,
Okay, that's cool.
I love smoked lobster, and then I chop it up, and I can either put it in some pasta, or I'll eat it on its own with a steak or something like that. But
I've never heard of
it. Same. I'm stoked with That's cool.
Yeah. What about you, Pablo?
So there, obviously, there's a million different recipes and ways to do it. As far as backing up just a step to the preparation, I like to keep some of mine whole too, completely whole, because my dad loves them whole. He wants the heads to make stock, and
right.
So I have a lot of mine that are completely whole and preserved in the vacuum seal as well. And any kind of tricks like paper plates or napkins stuff, if you want to do it that way, or you got to trim them like Pete does. Trim them all up, and just try to use the thicker stuff you can to seal them up. And I don't have any issues with that. But as far as making them, I'm pretty fortunate because my son is a chef.
Hey,
and so
that doesn't suck.
Yeah, and it's a big problem at home when the kids are like, "Are we seriously going to have lobster again?" Like, you're like, I'm so sorry, horrible parenting, But so anyway, it's kind of like in Forrest Gump when he's like shrimp gumbo, shrimp popcorn, shrimp. He goes down the whole list. That's kind of how I feel during lobster season. But honestly, there's a million different ways to do it. The way that I love to do it is I'll just take either the whole lobster or the tail, and there's so much meat in the head that people don't ever acknowledge. So try it. But anyway, I'll take the whole lobster or the tail. I put it in boiling water, and I usually do about 3 to 5 minutes, per lobster or per pound, and then I like to get it to where it's almost like medium rare, right? So it's kind of raw in the middle. And then what I do with that is I'll cut the whole thing in half, and I'll saute it just lightly, just to give it a little
kind of Puerto Nuevo style.
Yeah, and you just psh, both sides just a little bit, and it browns it up nice with some really good garlic or whatever. Less is more.
Great
less is all more.
Yeah, don't overcook your lobster.
Yeah.
And then it makes it rubbery.
Yeah. And it's really for a presentation, it's super cool to have half of a full lobster on the plate.
No doubt.
And then
that sounds great.
Coupled with a little Wagyu or something, or whatever. I mean,
that sounds good.
Just lobster by itself is great too.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And that's the beautiful thing about our lobsters here in Southern California is they're one of the best tasting lobsters that there is out there. So
they're the highest demand.
And they're the highest demand. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and that's another reason to just go out and get Tehupan, because it's so expensive to purchase them in the store. It's like $50, $60 a pound. You could just go out there and catch your lobsters yourself.
So, Pablo, when you catch your lobsters, do you keep them live until you cook them?
Yes. I do, because number one, the whole tailing them and ripping their heads off their bodies, you're only allowed to do that when you're at home, like preparing them, because otherwise, where's the carapace?
Right.
And so if you don't have the carapace, that's not a legal lobster.
Right.
There's no way to measure it or verify it. So let's just make sure nobody's tailing them at the dock, because if you come across Fish and Game, they're not going to be excited. Well, they'll be excited, but not in a good way.
They'll be excited with their ticket book.
So make sure you do all that when you're preparing them at home. But other than that, I do keep them alive. So a lot of times, a nice trick of the trade is bring some kelp. If you find a little bit of kelp, keep it in your cooler. Just the kelp down there. You don't need ice or anything. They're fine. Just keep them in there. And then my wife
keeps them moist.
Yeah, my wife's very, very favorite thing is when I put the lobsters in the crisper drawer, and I don't tell her about it. and she really enjoys that in the morning when she's getting ready to go to work, and then something like scatters really, hard in the crisper drawer.
How long will they keep in like a cooler with kelp and stuff?
A couple days. I mean,
Just keep them moist.
Just keep them moist. That's all I need.
No fresh water though.
No fresh water.
Yeah, fresh water kills.
Because that whole osmosis thing where it'll just suck out the life out of them. So. No, you want to keep them just moist with some kelp or even some saltwater rags. Anything you have is great, and just keep them in there. Put them in the crisper drawer.
Yeah, and then pop them in the boiling water and
pop them in the boiling water. And then if you want to freeze them or whatever, like a lot of times we'll actually euthanize them. I'll just take a little tuna spike or a knife, and I just kind of spike them in the head, because sometimes people are like, oh, it's screaming, or whatever. Like, no, this one's not. He's just happy jumping in the jacuzzi. He likes to go in the hot water.
All right. Well, hey, Chris from CCA California is on the line. Good morning, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Good morning, guys. How are we?
Great. A big event yesterday,
huh? Congratulations on
give
a
us the
successful
details
event,
on who won the Parker boat Yamaha outboard from West Coast Marine.
Yeah, guys. Yesterday was a very great day for CCA and for fishing in general. We really are grateful for everyone's support. We have so many different sponsors that we'll continue to thank throughout the year, but ultimately a great day. We made a lot of people's days yesterday by giving off over $100,000 in prizes yesterday.
Wow. Yeah, it wasn't just the boat, right?
Yeah, so we our grand prize winner of that brand new West Coast that Parker 18 SV from West Coast Marine and the Yamaha 150 went to Mr. Scott Sawa from Torrance, California. So we are very excited for Scott. I know he could barely get a couple words out when I interviewed him minutes after the announcement, but he was a nervous wreck, but he is super stoked, guys. It's awesome.
That's so cool, yeah. And of course, CCA California will have another star tournament starting next year, right? So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. I won't let any cats out of the bag for next year, but I think people are going to love next year's tournament already. And not to mention, we also gave away $15,000 in scholarships to our youth division yesterday as well. So a lot of good stuff happened yesterday.
That's great. Now, let's talk a little bit about your partnership, CCA's partnership with Promar.
Yeah, Promar, Brian, Steve, Ben, all those guys over there have been such great partners of ours, great sponsors of ours over the years, and we're super excited to continue that partnership. They also donated, I forgot to say, they donated one of our grand prizes yesterday, a $1,200 prize pack from Promar and Aussie.
Wow.
Which was fantastic. Yeah, and I'm really excited. I'm not sure if we've announced it yet, but we're really excited to partner up with Promar this year on a lobster tournament. Just think of the Star Tournament, but a lobster version of it.
Cool.
That starts on September 26th. And we're really excited about it. I've been working with Brian for the last couple months, actually the last half a year, and we're really excited about it.
So, Brian, why don't you kind of fill us in on it?
Yeah, so we have aside from ourselves putting up, a monthly grand prize of $1,000 in Promar gear. So every month from starting of the season, September 26th until December 31st. We're going to have.
So it's just for this year.
It's just for really this year, and it's really for the first 3 months of the season because that's when we notice a lot of guys tend to go hooping. Then it gets a little bit too cold for most people, and they don't go out as much. But that's going to be the most active time of the year for people, and so we're going to be having it every month from now until then. You have a chance to win $1,000 in Promar gear. There's also other sponsors as well, such as like Angle Coolers, Costa, Leucadia Knives, and a couple others off the top of my head I can't remember right now. But
it's called Ambush the Season, right?
Yeah,
the
and
name
it's called
of the
the
tournament.
Ambush the Season. Yeah.
And how's it going to work?
So what you're going to want to do is download the Fishing Chaos app. It's a $25 entry. The proceeds go to CCA.
$25 entry to enter the tournament.
Yeah, correct. Wow. And it's going to go to CCA. After you get that app and you're already in, pretty much what you want to do is just take a photo of your legal size lobster and put that in on the app, and you're entered for a chance to win one of those great prizes.
Doesn't matter how big they are. It's just like every time you enter, you're entered into the contest.
Correct. It just needs to be legal size. Other than that, as long as it's within there, and then there is one extra grand prize at the end of the entire event. For the very overall longest lobster, Deckhand Sports gave in a huge prize pack of kill bags from a huge variety in range in those. So that's something
cool. Well, it sounds like fun. Yeah. So $25. How do you enter?
Just download the Fishing Chaos app. Look for Ambush the Season on there. We have QR codes. It's on our website. It's on CCA's website, ccacalifornia.org/ambush.
Yeah, and then how do you now, Chris? You need to have the CCA measuring device, right?
Yeah. So any of our measuring devices that we've ever given out in the past, so that includes for the 2024 or 2025 Star Tournament, or the 2024 or 2025 Bay Bass Classic that we've given out. Any of those measuring devices work. If you do not have any of those, make sure to contact us. We can get you one. And people can contact us through the Fishing Chaos app directly. There's a chat feature right there, and then you just hit us up with your mailing address, and we will send one out to you.
So Fishing Chaos app is free download, right?
Yes.
But then, and you can actually enter the tournament right on the app?
Yeah, so the tournament is going to be paid for and everything through that app.
Through that app, okay.
Yeah, as long as you have a CCA membership.
And you have to put your membership number in?
I believe so, right, Chris?
I don't think it allows that, but we can certainly. We definitely encourage everyone to become a CCA member. But this is a great way to participate in CCA, and all the proceeds, as Brian mentioned, go directly towards fighting for your right to fish here in California.
Yeah. So all the proceeds from that $25 goes right to CCA.
Correct. Yeah.
Wow.
And so we're putting up prizes and tons of prizes. A lot of opportunity to win in this as well.
All right. Chris Adrechadera, thanks very much for your hard work and all the different projects CCA is involved in, and appreciate what you're doing there. And let's go ambush the season.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for joining us this morning. Appreciate that very much.
All right. I had another great text come through. This one says, one, I just wanted to read this one because it added to our fishing, and congratulations to the caller who did not leave his phone number, but says, just got off on my way home from the Oceanside 95, had limits of bluefin, bunch of big bonita, and several nice yellows, all anchored up on the Cortez from a day and a half trip. So, yeah, great to hear such good fishing still in the mix. But the text I wanted to read question-wise was, pull right back up. A question for the boys. Do you guys feel that spiny lobster migrate in and out of the bay? The bugs that are in the harbor, do you feel like they stay in that same location? Are coastal lobsters any different? And that's all from James in San Diego.
Coastal lobsters, I'm assuming he means outside of the harbor.
Thinking, yeah.
They tend to stay in their certain areas, but remember, these things are creeping and crawling, and they move, hundreds of yards, if not thousands of yards. They'll be creeping and crawling all around. The more, like we talked about earlier, that the water is disturbed or the visibility in the water is poor, they're going to move more and more. I don't think they technically migrate, like, let's say from Cabo to here, obviously, but like in and out of the harbor, they're in and out of the channel, they're all around outside. Anywhere there's shelter, they're gonna check it out, because these guys, they're scavengers and they're moving around, and what drives them is breeding and feeding, right? So around those times is when you're going to get the most of them. But I would say inside the harbor, like Captain Dave Hansen says a lot, saltwater guide, he says commercial lobster fishermen would give their right arm to fish inside of the harbor because there's so many rocks and jetties and objects and structures, and it's off limits. It's only for the recreational or, the sport fishing guys inside the harbors. And man, inside the harbors produces, and even when the waves are super big or anything like that, you can whack them really good inside the harbor. And outside, it's the same thing. I take into account the surf, the tides, everything, the weather conditions, and that'll dictate where I go inside and out. But I think they're everywhere. They're bugs.
That's cool. That's a great answer.
Captain Brian Kiyahara is a professional lobster fisherman, of course, too. Said on this show, he said if he could fish in the harbor, he'd own every house on Point Loma.
Right? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but he also said too that those lobsters in the bay migrate in and out.
Right.
He says they like you said, they move a lot.
Yeah.
So just because you think, well, I don't want to eat those lobsters that are sitting, eating all that Navy sludge in there and stuff like that.
Oh,
no,
they're happy.
These lobsters are back and forth.
Yeah, they're
all
stoked
over the
anywhere.
place. Yeah. They're very, very, very happy. Well, let's find out what's biting out there.
You got it, man. It's time for our FishDope.com report with the Anglers Realtor. Today, that catch report is sponsored by the Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego, where you get the premier processing experience. Check out the easier online system to book your processing for your long-range trips. With more team members, Fisherman's Processing stays far ahead of the rest. More same-day capacity, the finest in customer service. You can stop by their location in Old Town on Taylor Street or check fishermansprocessing.com. Be sure you make your reservation today. I got to say it again. I talked about it a couple weeks ago. I sent some fish back to Idaho to a bud, to our buddy Bill. And, man, you want to talk about easy. They just handle everything. Box, everything. I mean, literally, I had a bud come off a long-range trip, dropped the fish off with the girls at Fisherman's Processing. It was cut the way we wanted, in a shipping box, shipped to his door, next day delivery. I mean, it was perfect.
Bill pretty stoked?
Stoked, yeah. A little fresh tuna wahoo.
Yeah,
from,
up in Idaho.
That's the only departure is not a lot of fresh tuna from back in Idaho. But yeah,
got a lot of bass and trout, but not a lot of tuna.
You just wouldn't believe how easy they make it for you. I mean, it was literally here's my bud's address. Here it goes. Like the next morning, okay, everything's shipped off. Here's the tracking number. He should expect it that day. Just nothing. I mean, it was killer. They did such a good job.
So they'll do that for you if you want to send some to treat a friend back east or up north or whatever.
Yeah, or if you just you want to get on the road or you're flying home, it was crazy how easy the process was, and they'll do whatever you prefer. Like they can ship air cargo, which is a lot lesser expensive than shipping like FedEx next day air. So if you got a lot of fish and a lot of weight for your long range trip, they'll ship it back to you where you just then go to the airport and pick it up as cargo for like half of the price. Or if you're just you want to pay for the convenience of it, it's FedEx to your door the next morning. It's pretty killer. They did a great job.
Great. Hey, good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, guys. How we doing today?
Doing great. How's it fishing?
Oh, it's still hanging in there. It's slowing down a little bit. Up north, Santa Rosa, the sea bass and halibut are still biting. The weather's been crazy up there, though, so they're fighting it to get in there and get those fish. San Nicolas, dirty and cold. There's not a lot happening there. This cold water has kind of rolled in, shutting it down up there a little bit. Catalina, though, is doing very well. Still great fishing on the front side for the 3 Bs. Danny had said if he was going anywhere, he'd go to Catalina, and he'd use 12-pound test with anchovies. And you can crush just about anything with those. Calico bass fishing is still full speed. Lots of little barracuda, bonito. There still are some smaller yellowtail on the front as well. The backside yellowtail and sea bass game has kind of vanished. Over to San Clemente, the caves are biting at night really well. These are bigger model yellowtail, 20 to 30 pounds. It's only a night bite that kind of vanished during the day. Down to La Jolla, the yellowtail have dried up a little bit, but everything else is definitely biting. I was out there yesterday. We caught all kinds of La Jolla critters. Just didn't get into any yellowtail or really even see any sign of them. They never came up or anything. The rock fishing down south of there, Point Loma around the Whistler Boo has been really good. Lots of whitefish and a few lingcod. Scope and bite down on the IB Pier remains steady. The IB Pipe. Coronados have slowed up as well quite a bit. You kind of need a lot of bait, like a party boat, to get them up and moving and biting. Danny told me this morning, it's like all the dumb ones have been caught. So a little harder for the private boater in there. Out to offshore, the tune's still going good. Up north there a little bit from us on west end of Cat over to the Osborne and just west of San Clemente. There's tonnage of fish over there. A lot of the fish that have moved in are smaller, 5 to 20 pounds. There are some bigger fish groups around. The bigger ones are like 40 to 80s for the most part. The super large models are few and far between now. There still are some guys getting them on the kite. Spreader bars in this area are super effective. Guys are getting most of their fish on spreader bars. Out to the Cortez, we haven't heard that in a long time. You don't hear much about the Cortez, but it's biting. There's 20 to 50 pound bluefin out there, and occasionally the larger yellowtail. The guys are anchoring up on the spot and just kind of waiting for them. Yellowfin is drying up a little bit. We've all the dirty water that was down there by the rock pile, we were fishing that line, has moved out to the west now. And Danny says it's kind of like a block for the yellowfin. That yellowfin fishing was good in the 390 area. All that stuff has moved out towards the 238, like dead west of Ensenada. It's still pretty good down there, but it is drying up a little. And that's all I got for you today, guys.
All right, what's going on in the real estate world?
Real estate world's moving, man. There's more and more speculation over these rates changing, here in the next couple of weeks. And like I said last week, we're getting applications and like crazy. You're going to see a lot of movement with people listing their houses soon, I think, as well. I think a lot of people are just waiting until the market is turned the right direction and we kind of get out of this buyer's market.
Yeah, for sure. What about nature-fed beef, man? Do you have any quarters left?
I have 3 quarters right now from a shipment we just got in last week. Anybody who wants it, give me a shout on my cell phone, 619-277-2169, or you can go right online to naturefedbeef.com and order them. We'll deliver to your home within a week.
Yeah. Carne Asada's killer, bro. You guys killed it. It's really good, man. Thanks.
Everything
again.
about that nature-fed beef, it's amazing. I had one of the New York steaks. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it's really
it doesn't even taste like a New York steak. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it is good. Hey, Yosef, how do we find you for the real estate, too?
You can get me on my cell phone at 619-277-2169. Find me online at sportsmansrealty.com. If you want a free home evaluation, you can go to SoCalHomeEval.com and we'll kick you out an online evaluation right away.
Thanks, Yosef. We'll talk to you next Sunday.
Take care, guys.
All right. Appreciate that very much. You have a good text,
I thought so. It says, hey, good morning, guys. I'm looking to buy my first full set of hoops to fish lobsters on my kayak this season. I've heard great things about them. I was curious if you could tell me what sets Promar apart from some of the other hoops that are on the market. Thanks. See you on the water. It's from Corey and Escondido.
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. This is something that I always like to tell people is when you're getting Promar gear, you're getting a warranty and you're getting a brand that stands behind their product. So I actually handle a lot of those warranties. I vet them and stuff like that, and we're super lenient with them. And we always tell people and we encourage people, if you ever have a product or problem with our products, reach out to us. Give us a call. You'll talk directly to me or you'll talk to my my helper. His name's Jesse. We'll take care of you. So that's one thing to look at, especially when you're, dropping these things in salt water and you're going through them. And we offer, like I said, the warranty. We offer everything from A to Z, and we offer the resources, and that really is what sets it apart, right? And there's a couple other brands out there, or people, who make them in their garage and stuff. And so, to that I say it's just, when you buy those products, you're not getting the brand behind it.
Right.
And the help and the assistance and everything else that we offer alongside that.
The other thing is just the decades now of just progressing better and better and better. When it was the first thing, there was flat lay-in hoops that had that either had nothing or a little teeny bridle, and you had to figure out how to rig your own floats and like everything from Promar. Like the gear is big, it's all heavy duty, the bridle floats included. Like there's just been decades of innovation, and like every year they just seem to get better and better and better.
Yeah, and like you said, we've had so much time in dialing them in and making sure that our steel is the right steel to really, handle the wear and tear,
totally.
dropping them on the rocks. And and all of that stuff. We've looked at some of the other brands, and we look at some of the other ones that they're out there, and it's just, the nets are a little too long, or maybe the nets are a little bit too thick, and it makes a difference in terms of like drag in the water. Totally. And these are things that we really, really spend a lot of time honing in and perfecting. So when you're getting a Promar hoop net, you're getting years of innovation and studies. I fish, Steve fishes, Ben fishes, Jesse fishes.
You guys are hardcore lobster guys, and like for the improvement on the sea line bait cages,
little things.
They're called seal cages, Pete.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna amend it.
They're called sea line cages. Yeah.
We're gonna amend it with Promar. We're gonna say California sea line. Proof cages,
because they truly are.
I
mean, if you put them back together, that sea line's not going to mess with you.
Do your best.
And that's the other thing is you see some people who are like, oh, I could 3D print this. Yeah, a 3D printer is not going to hold up to a sea lion bite. That thing is putting
if you've seen what those things, when the original cages came out, and it was like, okay, well, this is it.
Crush
and then when you see what they can do to a cage, good luck. No. Good luck 3D printing that. Good luck 3D printing that and finding a way to do it lesser expensive than. That's the other thing that blows me away about the seal-proof bait cages is they're. I mean, you go buy all those parts and pieces at Home Depot and then factor in your time to drill the holes, run the wire, buy the clip. Like, I don't know how you do it for the price you do. Like, there's no way you're touching it. I mean, can you garage fab it for a couple of dollars less? Sure, but you're going to have an entire weekend into building something that's even half as close when there's a proven product and the clips aren't going to be as good. The size is perfect. Like, just everything about those is right.
Now, follow up on the same line here. Matt in LA has a question. He says, talk about the replacement nets for the hoop nets.
Yeah, actually, that's a great
that falls right into what you were talking about, the backup there. Yeah. I had no idea you could replace the net.
So this is something that we have been kind of working on the back end. We've seen people purchase them and use them. And so we started getting, the idea, we're like, well, let's take a look. Let's see, why are people using these? So we started to replace some nets on there. And so that's going to be the model number RN-730. That model number is going to be able to use on the smaller size 32 inch as well as the larger size 36 inch. And it's like putting a sock on. You're putting a sock on top of your netting. I always recommend people leave your original netting on. It's going to create more drag, but it keeps that ring, right? Because the ring is stitched in, right? And if you're if you're handy enough, it's really just zip ties. You just put it on over and you put new netting, and now you have these hoops
because they can get some holes in it.
Yeah, whatever. You had a sculpin in one way that you just had to use to cut some. That's a great call. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. So replacement netting. If you guys have any issues with your hoop nets, instead of going out and obviously I'm going to tell you guys to go out and buy hoop nets, but at the end of the day, you need to save some money, and especially in this economy, sometimes you have to do that.
Replace the nets.
Yeah, replace the nets.
That's a great call.
$20.
And you can get that on the Promar Ahi website?
You can get that on the Promar Ahi website. We're trying to get more retail partners.
Into the detailers,
Yeah, we're trying to get a lot more retail partners on that, but that's something that we're going to work with.
I think we need to have Brian come over to my yard and demonstrate how to use those hoop repairs replacement nets. Do you guys think that's a good idea?
I love it.
I have a stack that need to be done, and I don't know why he hasn't come over and
there you go.
Yeah, come on, man.
Hey, when we come back, we got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. We're going to check in with Bud Conway Bowman, talk some Cast Hope, have a lot of fun. You stay tuned. More Let's Talk Hookup, more of this great Promar lobster talk. You got Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
This is Pete Gray to tell you about my fishing buddy Dan Hume and his amazing company, Hume Termite. As you know, Southern California is infested with termites. It's a constant battle for anyone who owns a home, and that's where Hume Termite come in. They're strictly termite experts. They start with a thorough inspection to find out why you have termites in the first place, then recommend sustainable treatment options that work. Hume Termite has been controlling my termites for years, and I have recommended them to numerous friends. Did you know 99% of termite companies are commission-based? Not Hume Termite. They're all salaried employees, and with a thorough inspection, they'll help you solve your termite problems. Not sell you something you don't need. Let Dan and his crew earn your business through customer service and trust. It's swarming season, and now is the time to call Hume Termite at 760-598-2201. They'll come out and give you honest answers to solve your termite issues. Check HumeTermite.com. seaforth.com.
A top fleet and superb fishing is what Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, it's no wonder Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limit, El Gato Dos, Pride, Tribute Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or regular open party schedule, check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
One rod has set the standard for serious saltwater anglers worldwide, and that's CalStar. From the rugged dependability of the West Coast Series, the lightweight strength of the Graphiter, or the performance of the GG Series, all CalStar rods are handmade right here in Southern California of the finest materials and craftsmanship. Check out the new CalStar models now available, as well as upgrades to the classic rods that you know and love. If you want your tackle to be state-of-the-art tools to get the job done right, it's CalStar at fine tackle dealers.
Captain Jamie Tennis from Season Sport Fishing here. For the past few seasons, a dart-styled metal jig has come into play in a big way for tuna offshore or even rockfish down deep. AFCO's crossbreed jig has quickly become the go-to for many since it came onto the market. AFCO's crossbreed jig is good to go right out of the package with a 4X treble hook, heavy-duty split rings, West Coast colors, and sizes 60 gram to 120 gram. Pick one up today at your local tackle store or learn more on AFCO.com.
Take a closer look at the Ford F-150. You'll see hard work, a great adventure, and so much more. Inside and out, it's designed for the family, the road trip, and the most demanding job. The 2025 Ford F-150, whether it's gas, hybrid, or the all-electric Lightning, find the truck that will meet your needs. From California's best-selling truck brand, the 2025 Super Duty, the rugged Ford Ranger, and the versatile Ford Maverick, it's time to see Ford in a new light. Visit your San Diego County Ford dealer today to see the great selection across the full truck lineup.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here with the gang from Promar, talking lobster, having fun. What's a great show today.
Yeah, and don't forget, Rada Week from Rollo is on. It started yesterday, and Tim is standing by his phones. You have a chance to win 12 different custom-made rods that starts November 6th. And tickets are only $25. You get one free and when you buy four, so you buy $100 worth, you get one free, so you get a total of 5, and you get an entry into win Carl Newell's personal rod and reel, a piece of history, basically, to own a Newell reel along with Carl Newell's rod. You get a chance for every $100 you buy, you get one entry in there. Tim's standing by the phone right now. If you want to buy tickets, 951-264-7382, 951-264-7382, or win at RolloKids.com. Just send Tim an email. He'll call you back. And if you just hit win at RolloKids.com, he'll call you back and get you set up on tickets. And again, all of the money raised goes to taking kids fishing. And speaking of taking kids fishing and doing good things for kids, Conway Bowman's on the line. Good morning, Conway.
Hey guys, how are you? Great to talk to you today.
Yeah, great to talk to you. So tell us about this Cast Hope Cornhole Tournament.
Hey.
Yes, so we're doing our annual Cornhole fundraiser tournament at AleSmith this coming Saturday, September 20th, from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. And last year it was a gas. It was such a great event. A lot of people showed up, played cornhole, and we have great auction prizes this year from Taylor Guitars, Traeger Grills. Yeti really stepped up to the plate this year with lots of great items for raffle as well as auction. And there's even a payout for the first three placings, first, second, and third. So great food, great beer at AleSmith, and that's where we're holding it. And it's going to be a great event.
How fun.
So where is AleSmith?
AleSmith is in Mira Mesa, off AleSmith. I think it's AleSmith Way. Okay. And it's the famous AleSmith Brewery. So yeah,
it's right there. At the brewery, right? Yeah,
it's right at the brewery. They've got a great back room there that we've held our event the last year. It's going to be great.
Yeah, that's so cool. And so tell us about Cast Hope and the money raised. Where does it go?
So Cast Hope, we take marginalized kids, marginalized community kids, and we teach them how to fish. We teach them how to fly fish, conventional fish, but we also have sort of an environmental component to it. To the program. We get them out in nature, basically. So, and I always say, fishing is the key that opens the door to greater opportunity for these kids. I was lucky. My father took me fishing as a kid every chance he got. And many of the kids in our program, whether they're from, an inner city community, whether they're from a military family, a safety service family, a lot of those kids don't get great opportunities because typically they're in households with one parent, or the other parent is working a full-time job. So we take the kids out with a mentor. They have to have a mentor. We pay for everything. So if they want a day on the water, we have guides, we have boats, we provide all the tackle. And if the kids stay in the program for 1 year, we provide everything for them if they want to continue to fish. So rods, reels, they even need a kayak, we'll buy that for them. So that's where the funds go, and we really want kids and their mentors to stay on the water and engage not only in fishing, but just in nature itself.
That's awesome,
it's such a great. So again, the event, the cornhole tournament at AleSmith, super cool spot up in Mira Mesa, San Diego area. It's on the 20th, you said. And how do we get in on it?
September 20th. Go to casthope.org and you can register right there. So go to casthope.org, go to the events page, and then you'll see it right there. The San Diego Cornhole Tournament. Register and come on out and support some great kids and a great program.
Yeah, sounds great. And I would imagine there's a little bit of beer drinking going to be done there?
Just a little bit. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just a little bit.
Samples.
Sample one or two.
Yeah.
Can't play cornhole without having a sample.
Good beer. Yeah. Hey, Conway, keep up the great work with Cast Hope and have fun at that cornhole tournament. Sounds like a great time.
All right, guys. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it.
Thanks, you bet, man. You bet.
Had another great text come through. It says, "Good morning, guys. I've got a question for you. I'm curious about the amount of hoop nets I can have on the boat. I know that there's a limit that you're allowed to fish with. Do you know if I can have a spare on the boat in case we have an issue with losing one getting drifted away, if all the tags are on it and it's obviously not been fishing?" And that was from Steve in San Diego.
No.
10 is 10 is 10.
10 is 10.
Or 5.
Yeah,
if you're by
5
yourself.
if you're by yourself, and if you have another person on board, then you're allowed up to 10. No spares, no replacements, but this is why it's good to have some of those replacement nets, because if you drop it down, I know a lot of times people are going down there and they drop it into a rocky area, they pull it up and it has a hole and they're patching it with zip ties, but just
good idea
easy.
With the nets.
Yeah, just slide it. Like I said, it's like a sock. You just put it on top, zip tie it to the top, and you're set to go.
And what if you have 3 people on the boat?
You're still only allowed 10.
Maximum
amount of 10
10
per vessel.
10 per, and that's absolute. If they stop you and you have 11 hoop nets on the boat, like what if you snag one and you catch one, bring it in the boat, you have 11 on the boat, Fish and Game stops you, it's citation.
It's a citation. There's they're not going to listen. They're super tough, like you guys mentioned. They're very, very tough when it comes to lobster season.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
10 is 10.
10
no
is
matter
10.
what.
Hey, speaking of lobster and great fresh fish, let's talk about Point Loma Seafoods for a second. Right next to the San Diego landings. One of the things, Lolly's been out of town for a while, and I'm kind of tired of cooking for myself. So I went over to Point Loma Seafoods the other afternoon and picked up a whole array of fresh sushi and took it home and had like the sushi magnificent dinner that was extraordinary. It was all prepared. I didn't have to do anything but just eat it. I didn't have to prepare it. But that's just one of the hidden secrets about Point Loma Seafood is their fantastic sushi chef.
Wow. They've been doing a really good job on their social media lately, and they posted up a picture of some fresh San Diego local. They just called it sashimi grade halibut. I've never seen a piece of halibut that looked so good in the case before. It was just like everything those guys is so good. Like, they hand pick their fish that goes into the case, whether it be from the fisherman or from the market or wherever it is. Like, everything they pick for that case is done right. And then obviously the menu stuff is just, what more can you say? It's Point Loma Seafoods.
Yeah, Point Loma Seafoods, of course. My favorite crab cake sandwich. Love this crab cake sandwich. And just an array of great fresh fish, fresh lunch, dinner, whatever it may be, fresh sushi. Take some home for tonight. They had fresh swordfish the other day.
The other
that
thing,
time
too,
of the year.
We get so many people that are coming down that are jumping on a boat at Fisherman's Landing, and they always say the same thing from out of town. Oh, where do I go to eat? Like, there's no question in the afternoon. They've got such that killer, the upstairs, seating area.
Yep.
You go get your calamari sandwich, you get a cold beer, and you get to sit up top, and it overlooks the entire basin of all 3 landings.
Yeah.
You can see the whole fleet moving around. It's the spot, man.
Yeah, Point Loma Seafoods right next to the San Diego landings in Point Loma.
All right, had another great text. Says, "Good morning, guys. What a fun show. Quick question. What is the deepest you guys ever hoop for lobsters, and how does hooping deep pose challenges as opposed to shallow?"
That's a good question, huh?
Well, you better be really, really strong if you're going to be dropping it pretty deep. And you not get tired too quick. I have, personally myself, I don't hoop anything deeper than like 70, 80 feet. That's the furthest that I've ever really gone. And we've had success there. I've heard of people going down to 120 feet, 100 feet. At that point, you're going to want a puller, or at least somebody young.
Ace line hauler.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. Pablo, what about you? How deep do you go?
Yeah, typically, I mean, obviously Mission Bay is very shallow, and the surrounding areas are pretty shallow. So I usually keep it under 50 feet, like usually more like 30 feet or even 10 to 15 feet, if you can believe that. But yeah, the deepest I've gone is like a couple 100 feet.
Yeah.
And typically, like Brian said, you're going to want a puller or a good deckhand because
a young
deckhand. Yeah. Because that's no joke. And that's when we're going to be using the double ringed, the larger Promar Ahi hoop nets because those things are going to get down there and they're going to stick, right? Yeah. Otherwise,
there's a lot of drag on 200 feet of rope.
Yeah. And you guys know how it works. You know, you drop down and that thing's way behind you already, even with almost no drift, right? So we try to do our best to get it down as quick as we can and all that.
Catalina, right, Renee?
That's
Catalina is deep.
Yeah.
I've hooped as deep as 170 feet at Catalina.
Yeah. And they're there.
Yeah. But you got to have a lot. You got to have a heavy hoop, and you got to have a good young guy to pull the hoop.
Yeah.
Or and an ace line hauler.
That's right.
To that, right.
And then the other benefit to it is if you do tend to hoop deeper, a lot of people don't do that, so they're kind of untouched.
Yeah.
So if you have those pullers or you have somebody young, I recommend it. Try it out.
For sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Joseph wanted me to be sure to mention, because he forgot to mention, that if you do want some of his nature-fed beef, which is it's phenomenal stuff. I will go down the bet. NatureFedBeef.com. If you use the code Hookup, you get $250 off. Oh, wow. So you can buy a quarter, get $250 off, and just use the code Hookup when you check out, and you get $250 off. NatureFedBeef.com.
No doubt about it. All right, had another great text coming through. Says, good morning, guys. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more about the bait and bait prep. I know that you said you like fresh bait. Can you give us a list of what your favorite baits are, whether you catch it, whether you buy it, how do you chop it? I just love to hear everything bait. What do you feel about anchovies? That's all from John.
Oh, that's a good question.
So any bait is good bait, right? And mackerel, I would say, is probably really good. Sardines are really good. And guess what? Anchovies are great. The trick with the anchovies, depending on the size of them, they don't hold up as well if you chop them up too much. So you don't want to make like a slurry or a paste or make them too mushy. You really want to chunk those up. Even if you have time, if you're out there scouting around and getting everything set up, ready to go, you could even just give them slices down the middle of them or whatever and keep them as whole as possible, because even with our California sea lion proof bait cages, they could end up wiggling their way out or just coming out of the holes in those bait cages. And so with those, I tend to keep them a lot more whole, if not just cut. And then as you go up the food chain, sardines, we chunk them up a little bit, and then mackerel, you would definitely chunk them up pretty good. But to me, it's just a nice chunky consistency. And you don't want too mushy. If it's
you don't
too
want
mushy,
paste.
You don't want paste, or it's just going to be gone. Okay. It'll work, but it's not going to last.
Yeah.
And you always want to have plenty. The one thing I always tell people is have plenty of bait on board, because sand fleas, those things are going to chew through your bait faster than the lobster will, faster than anything, and they go through your bait really quick.
We have several more sea lion proof containers than we do.
We got them. We got them.
Pete.
Now he's saying it.
Just because you can reload that thing and it's just clip, and it goes right in, and then you can when the dust is settled, you can then reload those things. But again, the Promar system, like those clips are so fast.
Yeah, have 15 of them instead of 10 of them.
Exactly.
Correct.
Then you have 5 that are just loaded and ready to go, and then you can easily reset those, but it just makes it faster.
Yeah. It makes it faster. Like we were mentioning earlier, when they are crawling, they are crawling. You don't want to be wasting 5 minutes. Oh, get it unclipped, and then let's unscrew it, and take out the bait and put new bait in, and you just want to be super fast. So having extra bait cages is super
especially
important.
If they're crawling.
Yeah,
right, Pablo?
Yeah, the bait cages have extra ones, and I always have bait ready to go, or
Smart.
I'll keep it in my live well or something like that. That way, when we prepare it, it's ready to go.
ready.
But once we start going through our bait, then we'll start preparing the second bucket. So it's just slop it in, get it right back out.
You talked about chopping it. Are you just chopping by hand with a knife? Like, are you grabbing them, cutting them into chunks, or do you have some sort of a handheld chopper?
So there's all kinds of homemade devices, but
garage fab chop system.
I do have a couple of those, and then like the anchovies, like something like that. You don't want to chop them up too much, right? Because they're more delicate. We know that they're a lot more delicate than the other species of bait, but yeah, I just use any kind of good chopping device to make it happen, and anything you can use. You can use your knife, but that's a little, cumbersome to try to pin down a bunch of sardines and cut them all up. It takes a long time.
I'll tell you that if you use like a full big 6-foot handled like blade style chopper and you use really crummy, crappy, cheap buckets like I do, you will go through that bucket way faster than you think you will.
Put a piece of wood at the bottom.
That's a really good tip.
Piece of
learn that
wood
real fast.
Or marine lumber, cardboard, something like that.
Yeah, but just a regular like hoe that you'd use, like a straight bladed hoe that you'd use in the garden, sharpen it up a little bit. Makes a great chopper.
Yeah, me and Renee, what we do is we actually just have a straight black PVC pipe. Yeah, and that's what we do. Just slam it right into the bucket.
I have a copper pipe.
Black PVC pipe.
Yeah.
Sharpen it at the end?
No, we've never done anything. We just use it. And you're using a lot of force, but at the end of the day, you're getting the job done. You can fill a bucket up.
That's the half-day bait sardine chud tool for the last 30 years.
Yeah. No kidding.
I got a copper pipe that I use.
Okay.
Yep.
Just
multi-purpose. It's a multi-purpose tool.
There you go.
The copper pipe might be better. The weight helps it go down. The PVC is a little
that's
bit
a
light,
good
so.
idea. Hey, Daniel in Santa Barbara has a question for the Promar Ahi crew. How do you like to rig your hoop nets? Floating main line or sinking line? Number of floats, etc.
Okay, that's a great question.
Yes,
I have. This is actually a video that I'm working on right now, so I'll explain it, and then you guys could watch it on YouTube or our resource page later down this week. I have the base of the hoop net at the bottom, right? And then that already comes with the bridle with the float on there, so you don't need to do anything there. Obviously, the seal-proof bait cage in there, and you're going to have your line rigged up. So what I do is I actually have them rigged up. So what me and Renee do is we have them rigged up to about 75 feet of line, and we sell those line already pre-cut and everything through Promar. If you want to get them in longer lengths, you can. And then it's going to go all the way to the buoy. You want to have the pointed end outward, and you want to have the flat side towards the net itself.
Okay.
So the pointed side is always going to be towards the net, and then you're going to have the flat side outward. We sell a weighted clip-on kind of thing.
I use those. It's like a long line clip.
Yeah,
exactly.
Correct. And you want to have that clipped on towards the end so that your line is always going to stay, vertical.
And you don't run it over.
And you don't run it over. And that's the most important thing is not only for yourself when you're backing up into your buoys and trying to pull them up, but also for other boaters. If they're passing by you and they don't want to hit your buoy and they move 10 feet off to the left, but your line is floating, they're running that over.
They're running it over.
And you're making a
you're
bad
gonna lose it all.
Yeah, you're losing your hoop net, so you're losing money, and then they're in a pickle now too.
Yeah.
And it's just
those clip-on weights. Rather than fast, those work really well.
Yeah,
that was a great innovation. What about lead line? I mean, some people use lead line.
Some people use them. I'll actually let Pablo talk about it.
Yeah,
you use it?
Okay. Yeah,
I like it, and it's a Promar Ahi product as well. And
it is.
It comes in a big spool, is how I buy it because I have a lot of it. But I really like that because you can use a weight with it if you want, or you don't really have to. You don't need to. What's really nice about that is it's a little bit thicker, it's a little bit more stiff, so it's easier to pull. And it's just great line. I mean, I just
and that's available on the Promar Ahi website.
Promar Ahi website.
Man, what a great show this has been. We could use another 2 hours. Lots of lobster talk, lots of fun. We're going to find out there's 2 text winners, each going to get a $100 gift card to the Promar and Ahi website. We got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way as we wrap things up. But you're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California sport fishing voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
I just switched to it.
Hello, Let's Talk Hookup listeners. This is Tim with Friends of Rollo, and we were gearing up for our annual Rod Week promotion. This year highlights a fantastic selection of rods that will be given away every Thursday starting November 6th. All of these rods can be seen on the Rollo website at rollokids.org. Tickets are $25 each, and if you buy 4, we will give you one free. When you buy 4, you will also be entered into a drawing to win one of Carl Newell's personal rods and Newell reel. Carl Newell was a pioneer in the fishing industry, and what better way to have a chance to own a piece of fishing history? To purchase tickets, call Tim at 951-264-7382 or email win@rollowkids.org. Please leave your name and number, and I will get back to you. Thank you for making it possible for Friends of Rollo to take over 150,000 kids fishing. Your support is greatly appreciated.
Hi, this is Captain Ray Lopez, owner-operator of the American Angler. I've spent more than half my life aboard the American Angler along with my partners Brian and Lori, developing a team that's as good as it gets. I've been fortunate to spend time in the ocean with so many fine people that I look forward to fishing with. We can't thank you enough for being part of the American Angler family, and if you haven't joined us, we love the opportunity to meet you. Text or call Lori at 619-223-5414 or check AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com.
For your next fishing adventure, check Point Loma Sport Fishing. They offer half-day and full-day trips daily, perfect for families and the novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips, targeting the best of seasonal catches. Visit PointLomaSportFishing.com, where you can purchase tickets online and get more information on the trips available, or call 619-223-1627. Want to go fishing? Point Loma Sport Fishing has you covered.
Hi, my name is Chris Webb, and I'm one of the owners of Nature Fed Beef Company. We've started Nature Fed to bring families the highest quality beef that you can get in Southern California. Did you know when you buy ground beef at the store, it can contain hundreds, if not thousands, of different cows? All our cows are pasture raised and pasture finished. They roam and graze on green grass miles away from any freeways, assuring low levels of cortisol and some of the best meat quality that you can get. These animals are raised in God's country, in the Klamath Basin and just outside of Corning, California. We sell our cow shares in quarters, half, and full cows. This gives you a cut from every piece of the cow, and all the meat you buy comes from the same cow. We deliver it right to your door, packaged and ready for your freezer. Let's Talk Hookup listeners can enjoy $250 off any beef order with the code Hookup. Give us a call at 619-324-3555 to order, or visit naturefedbeef.com. $250 off any beef order with the code Hookup. Visit naturefedbeef.com.
Looking for the ultimate Alaska fishing experience and the best value in Alaska? Look no further than Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. A trip to Kingfisher includes everything you need to make your experience legendary. The finest fishing fleet in Sitka with the best captains, deluxe accommodations, gourmet food, world-class fish processing, and the best part, it's all included for one amazing price. Kingfisher is Let's Talk Hookup's most popular destination. Hundreds of listeners have experienced Kingfisher Charters, and most go back again and again. You have probably heard a lot of big promises from other Alaska lodges, only to find there were lots of hidden charges. Not Kingfisher. Everything is included. 10-hour fishing days, your license, fish processing, super deluxe accommodations, amazing food, airport transfers, and fishing gear. All you bring is your layer clothing, and Kingfisher covers the rest. Kingfisher Charters, your Alaska fishing destination. 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Okay, no need to flip the prize coin today because it was all texters and a really fun one today. So we're going to have 2 text winners today, each winning a $100 gift card to the Promar and Ahi website. Congratulations go to Colin in San Diego and to Corey in Escondido. Congratulations, you guys. You're going to have fun.
Right.
Little $100 shopping spree.
Yeah. Brian's going to get a hold of you and get a $100 shopping spree at Promar. And I just got a text from Mike Toddard from the Searcher. Libbets of tuna again last night, and better weather too.
It is biting.
So,
That's awesome news.
He's on a 3-day trip on the Searcher, and thanks, Mike, for that thing. If somebody wants more information on Promar, how do we do it?
Okay, so this is a great question. We encourage people to call in. Always, please call into our office. I'm going to get that number for you. But also check out our lobster resource page. So that's going to be on the homepage right now. When you guys go on there, the first banner is going to be regarding lobster. Go ahead, check it out. And it's going to have tons of videos on there. Our social media, we're always putting out new videos. It's going to be at Promarahi on Instagram, Facebook, and all that stuff.
And then, Pablo, how do we get a charter with you?
Oh, just call me at 619-431-3070 or check me out at FernandezCharters.com or Fernandez Charters on Instagram and Fernandez Charters on Facebook.
Great. Hey, thanks. Next Saturday, Eric Corden, Craig Heber from Department of Fish and Wildlife. Next Sunday, Brian Wynn, the jigging expert, is going to be here. Thanks for listening today. We'll see you next week right back here on The Fan.